The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shay's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shay's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shay's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. TGIF. Welcome to Shay's Paranormal Chat. I am your host tonight, Shay Carroll, of course. And I'm trying to get this new part in just so when you go back and listen, you know. Today is March 3rd, 2022. Renee, is it 22?
23.
23. See, I knew I was wrong. Oh, time flies. And tonight, I have my latest favorite guest. As you guys know, I call my paranormal crush. Nothing sexual about it, but they're just my favorite person at the time, Renee Bedard. How you doing?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be back.
I am so excited to have you back.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Oh, and hopefully we can do one of these like almost once a month, whatever works out.
That works.
Yeah.
Cool.
I really love this. If you have not listened to the how we got connected, you have to go back. I think it's 2 episodes, maybe 3, and listen to her first show, and we explain how we connected and why it's so relevant. I don't want to waste time on that again because I am super excited about this topic. She picked this topic, but I was all in, and I cannot wait to discuss it. Today we're going to talk about how we haunt ourselves. So, you picked this, so do you want to start?
Sure. I think it's important of a subject to talk about because there are so many things out there in the wilds that there's a lot of buzzwords. There's a lot of pop culture to it, I guess, where we're always looking outside. You know, something's out there happening to us, and they're out to get us. And I think from my own experiences, personal and working with people, self-reflection is really important. And most of the time, people are so self-absorbed that they're really not after us, whether they're physical beings or spirits or ghosts, for lack of a better term. But I think that we can project a lot of energy out there and form attachments to ourselves, for ourselves. A lot of people say, and I'm one of those people too, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm out to get myself, you know, I'm my own worst enemy. Thoughts are things, and they can create a life on our own. So how we talk to ourselves, about ourselves, can create a whole other energy or persona. And I think that is one of the ways we can start to haunt ourselves, and it kind of snowballs out from there or spirals out from there. So I think that's really important to look at, especially if we feel like we can't move forward or we can't do X, Y, or Z. It's really important to take a step back and kind of observe objectively, although sometimes that's difficult.
Very.
Yeah. I think it's good to have that fresh breath, that look where we can step back and look at the grand scheme of things and say, okay, so this funk that I'm in, it's all me. You know, we all know too that sometimes there are legitimate spirits that are around us too. Right. So I just don't think that everybody's out to get you or out to get me. You know, sometimes I think if we look in the mirror.
So are you speaking of manifestation?
Sometimes, yeah. Thought forms. And I've seen, because I go and work with people in their homes, and I also see clients for energy work, but also psychic work. Sometimes it can, if it is a repeated pattern, if you're constantly putting down yourself or you're not allowing yourself to grow, we can kind of get ourselves stuck in a rut. So we can manifest our own thought form or entity.
Almost like a tulpa? Almost?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
See, yeah. This is why I was so excited about this subject because, excuse me if I get your title wrong. I always forget what people call themselves. But you're a psychic medium, correct?
Yeah, psychic medium, witch. Seeker.
You like witch and seeker better. Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. No.
But that's why I like this, because you're coming from it from that point of view, and I have none of those things. So I'm coming from it from a paranormal investigator's view. So we see different things.
Yeah.
Because I'm not able to see what you see.
Maybe?
A little bit, but I meant overall, like, we just come from it two different... I can't talk to the dead, well, I mean, through equipment, but I can't actually talk to the dead and hold a conversation. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. Yeah.
So, like, do you want to explain what a tulpa is in case anybody out there doesn't know? Do you know what it is, right?
Yeah, tulpas are energies, thought forms, an idea that we put energy behind, and then it starts to grow, and it kind of creates its own life force in its own way. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect definition.
Yeah, and the Philip experiment. See?
Yeah.
I know some paranormal stuff too.
No, you do. But I don't mean that against you, or I don't mean it against me, but mediums and investigators see things or go about things differently because you have the advantage. You're a psychic medium, seeker.
No, that's fine.
And you still can go about it as a paranormal investigator. But me, as a paranormal investigator, I cannot go about my investigations as a psychic medium, witch, or seeker.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why I love this. Like, I like how you worded everything. It was really good, and this is why I love this topic. Let's see. All right. So let's get into a little bit of, I'm going to be very careful how I word this. I think there's a difference between a poltergeist and poltergeist activity. So how do you think poltergeist, let's say that again. how do you think poltergeist activity affects how we can haunt ourselves?
That is a great question.
Should we start with the difference? Because most of my listeners know how I feel, but let me explain what I mean just in case.
Sure. Yeah.
A poltergeist is just a German word for a lousy. Lousy. Is a yeah, lousy. I'm leaving that in. That's too good. Is a German word for a loud, noisy ghost. Poltergeist activity is something we create.
Right.
So how do you think, if you agree with me, you could have different definitions?
No, I agree with both of those definitions.
Okay. So how do we haunt ourselves as poltergeist activity?
Awesome. Okay. So a lot of this happens to come or stems from people that may have some kind of psychic ability. Sometimes it is from trauma. Sometimes it's heightened anxiety and nerves. And it's a buildup of electricity or energy. And then it can short circuit electricity. It can turn the TVs on and off. Sometimes even banging or rapping on the walls. So we can set off poltergeist activity in those ways when we ignore a lot of our emotions and keep stuffing them down.
And then you add adrenaline and boom.
Oh, yep. And it can feel like a full-blown haunting, you know? We see a lot of activity, and I'm sure you have in your experience too, where like sometimes it's like adolescence, or there's a lot of trauma going on in the home. And sometimes people who have psychic abilities don't necessarily know how to use them, or they can be scary. I can remember being afraid, when I would see dead people, walk across the hallway when I was a kid. And as an adult, it can be, a little jarring if you're not used to it. If your religion doesn't allow it, you might think there's something wrong with you. So therefore, it just feeds itself like an endless loop.
Yeah.
And, meditation can help to ease some of those. Like there are other things that you can do to kind of release the poltergeist energies that we set off ourselves. Does that make sense?
It does. And most people know it as like prepubescent. What's the word? Prepubescent? What's the word?
Prepubescent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very close. Yeah.
Girls that are just starting like menstrual cycles. So they have sometimes the strong ones, they might have turmoil. They might not. Just all that energy has to go somewhere.
Exactly.
And that's the one that's talked about the most. But like you said, I think it can happen later in life with just trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hold it all in, like you said, stuff. That has to go somewhere.
Yeah. And if people don't clear their houses, or if there's a lot of, whether it's, people that have been living there for a long time, and we can feel it when we walk in. It can feel oppressive. It can feel heavy. Like, I got to get out of here. Meanwhile, the people can be lovely, with the face that they're showing you. But when the doors close, they can have a different home life than what they present on the outside world. And that energy, again, needs to go somewhere, and it short circuits, so.
And me, as I'm not psychic, I'm not a medium, but I can feel it when you walk in. Like if you walk in a room and somebody's having an argument, you can just feel that. Or like me when I go to friggin' Walmart, that's how, I could just feel it. And I'm not psychic, but you can feel people's tension. You can feel their energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the buzzwords nowadays seems to be, people that are empathic, and they wear it. I can feel everything. well, that's all well and good, but, it's a superpower. You need to take care of it,
Yeah.
So clear your energy, ground yourself, journal. And people, and I did too until I got comfortable with it, We don't know where to put the extra energy that we're soaking in. And that can short circuit us too,
It has to go somewhere.
Yeah. Your phones cannot work. Your watches can go kaplooey, I can't wear a watch still.
My co-host Kelly, I told you this before, can't electronics. She sets them off. Like she shuts off street lights if she gets,
Wow.
Yeah. So I've heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think some steps to protect yourself from this, whether it's poltergeist activity and what are some steps do you think besides you keep saying clearing?
Mm-hmm. And that can be different too. That looks different too. When people say clear, well, what the heck does that mean? It's taking time to breathe, go for a walk, let some steam out, relax, try to find things that help you to relax, because some people like to go for a run. Me, no.
Yeah.
That's not going to work for me.
No, I feel you there.
Yeah. So, let me go out in the woods instead. So, breathing, meditation, walking meditations. If you like bird watching, watch the birds.
It has to, if you don't agree with me again, just tell me. But it has to be something you believe is going to work for you.
Yes.
If you're doing something and you don't believe it, of course that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that goes for, and again, people have all different thoughts and philosophies, and people might not want to go off and meditate. So therefore go and take a run, take a walk, draw, paint, create,
that's their meditation. But you can't, that's like, we have a person that always asks questions on every Paranormal Buzz show, and they're always like, their question, and I love stealing it. Holy water. Is it holy water or is it just water? And my answer always is, if you don't believe that's holy water, it's not going to work.
Right.
And my co-host is like, if I believe more in a bagel than I do the holy water, I have a better chance of the bagel working.
100%.
So,
and
I think that's important.
Yeah, and that's how we can actually haunt ourselves. It's the same rationale.
Yeah. That's why I loved this subject. I really do. So, so just believe in you got to look at it, whether it's holy water, whether it's meditation, running, church, whatever it is, it's a tool. But you have to believe in that tool, correct?
I think so. That's yeah. And just like, what works for me will work for me. I can give you suggestions. And, I say this to people that I see with the psychic work or in energy work. Take what you want and throw away what you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take offense to it, and maybe someday down the line, if it resonates with you, then that's awesome. I'm glad. If not, that's okay too. Maybe you can pass it along to somebody else that might, because we look through things through different lenses, and you got to fit your own lens.
Yeah, because the lenses, going off what you said, we look through things through different lenses. I love that because we can only see what we've experienced, what we believe. Again, I'm not a psychic medium. I believe what you do, but I can't see it through my lens because I'm not that person.
Mm-hmm. And how many times when you have a bunch of people witnessing one event, they can all have a different perspective on what happened. Who was in the right, who was in the wrong, And I think this kind of goes with that too, because it took you your entire life to get you to where you are in this moment.
Exactly. Yes. But all right, let's picture a crime. Just to give people different perspective. Picture a crime. You have 3 eyewitnesses.
Yep.
They could all describe the perpetrator differently because something is going to stick out because of their experiences.
Yeah. Right. And it could be their voice. It could be the clothes that they were wearing.
Exactly.
Size.
Yeah.
It could trigger something in them.
Yes. And it doesn't mean they're lying. That's just what saturated them, or through their eyes. I don't know if saturated is the right word, but that's what stuck out to them because maybe of a prior experience. It doesn't mean they're lying, though.
Right. It's just how they perceived it to be.
Yes. Same with paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
Does not mean they're lying. It just means everybody experiences things differently because of their past experiences or because they've had no experiences. It's, yeah.
I grew up with a sister and 2 brothers, and I'm the oldest of all 4 of us. My sister, who, for whatever reason, doesn't gel with a lot of this kind of talk.
Yeah.
My brothers, they do. They see, they experience. And my sister doesn't have a lot of that. Personally, I remember growing up, and I know my sister is very psychic, but whatever reason,
she shut it down.
Because there were some scary things in my house, And we all saw it. We all witnessed it. But she kind of, because she didn't want that, she shut those doors down.
Yeah.
Or those windows closed, or however you want to put it, so she doesn't experience that anymore because it scared all of us, to different degrees. And I think that's another aspect to this too. Sometimes what we look for decides to knock back and come and say hello.
Yeah, all right, again, paranormal investigator here. What you're willing to listen for, like 2 people can be in the room and you say, knock here. If the person A wants to hear it, it knocked, so person A hears it, and even though it really happened, if person B is just like, this is fake, I don't hear it, they're not going to hear it.
Exactly.
Am I making sense or driving you crazy?
No, it makes sense to me. And again, it's all the lens and how closely we're tuned into the situation or the experience.
And how much you're willing to accept. If you're not willing to accept paranormal is real, then you can go to every haunted house everywhere. And if you don't think it's real, you're not going to experience anything because you already decided it's not real.
Right. Yeah. So they're not going to bother you.
Yeah. But that could work the opposite way if, like, you and I, have already decided the paranormal's real. So are we accepting too much because we already know it's real?
That's a good question.
Yeah. That's why I'm very careful. There's a line there that you have to be careful on. You don't want to accept too much, but you don't want to deny too much.
Right.
You don't want to be one of those people that accept every tiny thing.
Right.
Are you with me?
I am. Because you can, there's a fine line.
Yes.
And yes, we're seekers. Yes, we're, witches and paranormal people and all the labels, the wonderful and cautionary labels out there that can be. But if you consume too much of it, it will distort your reality.
Right.
And people can go off into some dangerous territory that way, where they do lose grip. And I've seen that happen too.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, it's sad and it's scary. And I think when we go in with an objective mind, I mean, sometimes, a creak down the hallway is just the house settling. And I'm okay with that.
Exactly. Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but I love that. Objective mind. What does that mean to you?
Okay. If I'm going to look for something, a spirit, whether it's in the woods or in a house or trying to see what's going on in a place, I will sit and I'll talk to the people in the house with them and be objective and listen, because we all have stories to tell and it's really real to them. But I'm coming in as an outsider, so I don't live in it. So I want to be objective. I don't want to believe everything that's being said 110%, even though I'm listening to them and I know that their experiences are real.
To them, at least.
To them, yes. So when I go in, I need to be that objective, to be that middle point, in the middle of the line there, and walk that and feel it myself.
And figure out what's what.
Yeah, because is it coming from, their grandparents or the person who built the place, or is it coming from something from their psyche?
Or, and then again, like you said, is it just a house settling?
Creaky. Yeah.
Because it's a house settling doesn't mean they're lying. If they believe it, they still need help.
Absolutely. Yeah, and sometimes, for whatever reason, maybe they didn't have that. We all grow up in different ways, so maybe somebody just wants to be heard and be witnessed. Yeah. Sometimes they just want to feel like what they have to say matters, and
dead or alive. Yes.
Dead or alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even spirits, they want to be held. They want to be heard. There's something in that for them. And energy just doesn't disappear.
No. And it doesn't mean you're in danger. And
right.
I always use this example of like me being pushed or scratched. That doesn't mean you're in danger. You keep asking. I don't anymore, but for example, if I was one of those people, can you touch my arm or can you touch my hand if you're here with us? Well, maybe it took them so much energy that by the time they were able to touch you, they scratched you or they pushed you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're bad.
Right. They don't have a physical body anymore.
Yeah.
How else are they? And to jump from asking a polite question in a place where you don't live, and then jumping to the worst case scenario, I think does a disservice to the spirit or the person that's living there and yourself in the situation. I think jumping to conclusions is a dangerous thing.
It is. Very.
And, and again, I have a hard time with the demon word.
Me too.
For anything that's unknown. And even evil, like.
Even evil and demon to me are the same thing.
Yeah, it's,
this is what I say. If you're an asshole in life, you could be an asshole in death. Does not make you a demon, does not make you evil. It just makes you an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not going to be, all nicey-nicey once they're on the other side. They're going to continue to be a jerk.
They could. Yes, I agree. I so agree. Yeah.
And there have been times where, I was like, okay, I'm out. See you later. Walking in the woods or whatnot.
Oh, yeah. But it still doesn't mean they're a demon.
Right. It's still a human spirit, or even a non-human spirit that just doesn't have our interest. It, has their interest at best or whatever, and they want to be left alone.
Yeah.
We all can get cranky.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so we're almost out of time here, but the one thing we haven't touched on, and I'm not sure how this fits into the subject on how we haunt ourselves. Okay. I mean, I have ideas, but I'm not sure. Residual hauntings. Can we haunt ourselves with residual hauntings?
I think so.
I do too. I'm dying to hear you.
Okay. And I talk a lot about this. When we run the tape of in our minds over and over and over again, all the things that we did wrong, or what we think we did wrong, all the things we shoulda, coulda, woulda said, and just kind of beat ourselves up, it creates that tape or that loop where we can't get out of our own way.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we can haunt ourselves, because we can't find a way out. We can't find a way to express ourselves in beneficial ways. We can't reach our dreams. We kind of cut those ties off, and we can keep ourselves in these little boxes where we can be afraid of our own shadow.
Yeah.
And that's not living. And if that's the case, we keep ourselves back from truly living. I think that's some of it anyway.
No. All right. So here we go. Again, psychic. I agree with you. Sorry. I know you want to be called witch, seeker. But for the listeners, psychic medium. Yeah. So, all right. So here's my take. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing. But as a paranormal investigator, we touched on this a little bit last time, but I finally remembered who I stole this story from, so I want to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Mike Ricksecker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is how he explained to me, or it might have been on a show, but it was him. Residual. Because I asked the question, because I think this is true, and you probably do too. I'm like, can you have a residual haunting and an intelligent haunting of the same person at the same time? And of course, the answer to me is yes, because, and this was his story that I steal all the time. I'm sorry, Mike, love you. Picture a little 13-year-old boy, loves baseball, and he walks from his house to the ball field, to his house, to the ball field, every day. Okay? And I'm trying to get through this quick because we're running out of time, but, so that would be the residual once he dies. All right, the poor kid dies, 13, and his residual energy, like a record player or a projection, is over and over, him walking there. So now let's say it was so important to him, he hasn't, quote unquote, crossed over, if that's what you believe. He's also intelligent haunting the same area. You with me?
Oh, yeah.
So now you have residual haunting and you have the intelligent haunting. And I'm babbling because I'm trying to get through it quick, because here's the real question. All right, so you're still alive. Can you have residual energy while you're still alive? Can you truly haunt yourself with residual energy?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, because there are things where maybe trauma happens. And we don't like to be in a particular area, because we can still feel that tape running, in the background.
Over and over, yeah.
Yeah. And we're still alive, but we can still feel those energies. I feel that we're more than just one soul. So if we are in a traumatic experience, we can, a little piece of ourselves gets lost in that moment. Yeah. And it can stay, and maybe while we're not there, and we're off at the office or we're out to dinner, and somebody, you know, a paranormal investigator is in that area doing a house, you know, seeing what's going on, they can pick up on that trauma at that location and maybe get evidence. I don't know.
Data.
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 Thank you. Yeah, data of that, because what is evidence? You know what I mean? Come on. We can collect a sample of that time and space of that trauma. Maybe a scream, maybe someone screaming, no, help me. But that person is still alive.
Yeah, but again, so if residual, some people say limestone, some people just say it's, you imprint on that. Mm-hmm. But why do you have to be dead to have residual, lack of a better word, residual hauntings? If you being dead has nothing to do with it, you know, I don't hide the fact I was sexually assaulted as a young child.
I'm sorry.
No. Thank you. Thank you. But that's not what I mean. But where my energy is there, who's to say that residual energy isn't haunting somebody else, and they might think it's an actual living, intelligent, not living. Sorry, take that back. They might think it's an intelligent haunting.
Yeah.
Because they don't take into consideration, are they answering your questions on command, or is it the same thing over and over again? And sometimes, especially when we're new, we've all done it.
Oh yeah.
You don't recognize the difference.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does, and that's what I meant when, like, you know, something happened, you know, and then you go off, you know, and you're somewhere else, and somebody else picks up on that. Yes. We don't know, you know, we don't know the time and the space, you know, if we're seasoned, you know, veterans in this field doing our investigations, our researches, whatever, and we're out there doing these things, you know, do we really know the time period?
No.
A voice is a voice is a voice.
Yeah.
You know?
Unless they tell you.
Right. And then
but how many new investigators hear only what they want to hear? Or even seasoned sometimes.
Yeah. And that's brings it full circle, actually.
It is. It is.
Because it brings it back to the objective mind.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we should eventually do a part 2 on this.
You know, there's so much to it. I would agree.
I could keep talking, but our time's just about up.
Okay.
I love you. I just have to say, like, again,
so
you're my paranormal. I haven't had a paranormal crush in like a year. I used to do one once a month.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I used to do one once a month. But no. And even when we don't agree, that's cool too.
Yeah, because you give me food for thought.
Yes, same. Yeah, same here. All right, Renee, can you give everybody your social media?
Sure. I have a blog and a website. You can find me at thewhisperingcrow.com. I'm on Facebook as Renee Bedard, Psychic Intuitive, and on Instagram at The Whispering Crow.
Awesome. And she'll be back in like a month because I claimed her. I think she allowed me to claim her.
I think so. Yes, indeed.
No, I think once a month. Oh, I love these conversations.
So much fun.
Yeah, and if anybody has because this is a pre-recorded show, so if anybody has anything they want to add or questions, she will be back. So email me at sherryandcarol@gmail.com or paranormalbuzzradio@gmail.com, and I'll ask her next time. But she will definitely be back. Like I said, if I was a cat, I would have peed on her.
Oh, that is hilarious. Oh my God.
Yes, I gotta add me. All right, so here's one thing we've never done.
Yep.
All right, so I have like 6 or 8 questions.
Uh-huh.
that I usually ask when we're live, but you're not live. But I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to give you 2 choices really quick on all 8, and just answer really quick.
Okay.
And we like to say we don't judge, but we really do judge.
Noted.
All right, ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, investigator or hunter?
Investigator.
Data or evidence?
Data.
Provoking or no way?
No way.
Residential or commercial?
I've only done residential, but I'd like to do commercial.
All right.
That's really cheating. I'm sorry.
No, we'll get you there. I'll hit you up later. All right,
Awesome.
ready? Here we go. Orb or dust?
Oh, dust.
Thank God. Recorder or video?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was laughing. I didn't hear the first one.
Oh, recorder or video?
I'm old school, so recorder.
Say that again. I love the Mass accent. Recorder.
Oh, sorry. I said recorder.
Oh, I love it. All right, one more. Demon or asshole ghost?
Asshole ghost.
A plus.
What was that?
A plus.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. There's a couple in there that could have went either way, but I already knew. But all right. Can you say, put my car keys in my pocket?
I got my car keys, and I'm going to put in my pocket.
See? Boom. I miss my Mass people.
I tried so hard, but then it's like, I just gave up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Renee will be back next month for sure. If I don't cancel on her too many times, she might be back twice next month. So check it out, because she's going to be a new fixture here as long as she puts up with me. If she disappears, that means she's done with me. No, just kidding.
No, I had so much fun.
No.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. All right, guys. See you next time.